this is Charlie Mato-Toyela with another video on making and playing Native American flutes. I was looking through my previously made videos that we've uploaded here on YouTube, and I realized that there's one of them that I may have missed, something that I think is really quite important, and that's a very basic how to show someone else to play the Native American flute. So that's why we have this video today. And we're actually on our way back from an event, so we're visiting with a very good friend of ours, Pam from Redhanded Traders, who makes these really amazing tie-dye Southeastern Native American shirts. You can kind of see the design is one of our four-headed woodpecker designs with the four directions symbol in the middle of it. This is a really old mound builder symbol, and it's done with tie-dye colors. It's all 100% cotton, so it turns out really cool looking. And there's a link I think we have put at the bottom of this video so that you can see where to get them from if you're interested in that yourself. But anyway, we had just a couple of minutes and thought I would go ahead and make this video in case you ever need to show someone else how to play the flute. Because a lot of people pick it up and they think immediately I can't play it, and I wanted to show you the technique that I have used for all this time. It's starting to drizzle on us, but I think we're good. So basically, you want to tell someone that the flute is similar to, say, a drink bottle. Because a drink bottle is something that everyone has picked up and played. And a lot of times, you know, I've been in an event and I say, well, have you ever blown in a drink bottle? And everybody's like, of course I have. Up to date, I've had two people tell me that they haven't ever blown in a drink bottle. And I know they were pulling my leg, but just to go along with the whole gag, I went ahead and said, hey, somebody bring me a drink bottle for these guys. So anyway, long story short, this is our Flute Kit flute, which I've been using a great deal for our videos recently, because it's a really good sounding flute, and I'm very proud of it. I wanted to show you my technique with this drink bottle metaphor. If you tell them that this part of the flute represents the lid of the bottle, and from about here on down represents the bottle itself, because you know that the sound comes out of this area here. And when you blow across a drink bottle, that little area of the bottle top is where you blow across. That's where the sound comes from as well. Now, like a drink bottle, this flute, the hollow part of this flute, contains something. And it's something that we have to live. It's something that you have a hard time seeing in most cases, at least if it's good. And it's something that most people forget about. And I'll tell you this, I always like to use the metaphor, is the bottle half full or is it half empty? And everyone says half full because they think that, you know, it's very optimistic to think that a bottle is half full, and a person who's pessimistic would say it was half empty. The truth is that, you know, I guess truth of everything is really hard to come by, but the truth is that the bottle is always full of something, whether it be full of air, full of liquid, some other combination there in between. It's full of something. And likewise, inside of this flute right now, there's air inside of it. When you blow across the hole, that note that you're hearing coming from the little angle that the wind is blowing across the sound edge here is what makes the sound. But the first hole of the flute is where the air is traveling through and escaping from. So that little escape hole there is what causes the note to be the note that it is. So when we cover this hole up, now it goes lower. The reason it's going lower is because the air is traveling further and it's escaping out of the next hole. Now the air is traveling further even and escaping out of the next hole. So it's very easy to show someone how to play the flute and how to learn the notes, because the notes, you know, they're pretty much the critical part of flute playing. So just like a drink bottle, like I said, when it's first time you open the bottle and you take a little sip out of it, you blow across the drink bottle, it makes a certain sound because there's a certain amount of air inside of the bottle. When you drink more, there's more air and less liquid. More air makes a lower sound. So when we blow in the flute, you cover this hole up and it has more air because it has to travel further through the flute, and you cover this hole up. Now the air travels down even further and it has more air and more until you cover up all holes, in which case the flute, the little piece here, causes the air to travel the furthest that will have to travel all the way out of the end of the flute. And that That's basically the lowest note you can achieve. Now, there are other notes you can get by making combinations, and of course there's alternate fingerings and chromatic scales and so many crazy different things, but the simplicity of it, the most important part, the thing that makes the Native American flute sound the way it does, is by playing these 5 or 6 notes. Now, this is a 5-hole flute, and of course this process works with the modern 6-hole flutes where you keep your finger over that hole. Just keep keeping your finger over that hole, okay? But with the other 6-hole flutes, it's the same process, but you have to, with the traditional 6-hole flutes, you just have to start at the very top and cover them all up one at a time, going from top to bottom. The reason this is like this, the reason that more air makes a lower note is very simple, and all of you can definitely understand it, even though it's, you know, has complex explanations. But everything vibrates. And as everything vibrates, the sound vibration, of course, the vibration is slowed down when it goes through other materials. That's why if you put a cloth over your ear and you try to listen to these cars going by, you may not hear the cars going by as well. If you put 2 cloths over your ears, you may hear them even less, and 10 cloths, maybe a pillow, you don't hear the cars at all, because the sound waves that are vibrating through the air are not vibrating through the pillow or through the other cloths or what have you. So in this particular case, since the flute is full of air and the vibration caused up here by this little track area in the sound edge, the vibration is kind of like a sine wave. It's just going up and down like an ocean wave even through the flute, and it's escaping out of this hole because that's the shortest distance. And when you cover that finger up, now it has further to travel. The further it travels, the more air it encounters and tries to pass through. And the more that it does that, the lower the note becomes, because the vibrations are breaking up and absorbing into the air, or into the flute, or into the pillows, or the cloth, or anything. And that's why you can't hear people through concrete as well as you can out in the air. So, and likewise underwater. If any of you have tried to listen to people above the water while you're underwater, you can't hear them as well, because vibrations, especially sound, doesn't travel through water very well, as smaller vibrations like sonar or radio frequency and what have you travel quite well underwater. But still, they do dissipate. They break up inside of whatever material they're traveling through. Likewise, you may have heard radio frequency vibrations travel through space a great deal, because space is, of course, not a perfect vacuum, but it has less everything in it than just general whatever. So, general air around here. But in either case, like I say, the vibrations getting longer, stretching a longer distance, because more of the tight vibrations breaking up and dissipating is the reason that the last note comes out. And I'm sure some scientist is going to leave me a nice comment on this, giving a much more detailed and accurate explanation, which is perfectly fine. But once again, for the beginner flute, if you want to teach someone how to play the Native American flute, use a Coke bottle. Everybody's played a Coke bottle. Blow across it, drink some. You have a larger airspace, drink some more. Blow across it, you have a larger than that airspace, drink some more, larger, and so on, until the bottle's completely empty and it makes that neat sound like we hear on the TV commercial. I wish I could remember what commercial that was. But it goes, oh, it's a Corona commercial, I think, or something like that. I'm not saying I drink Corona, but so no advertising for them here. But anyway, I think that's what it was, a Corona commercial. It's hard to forget the commercial. But anyway, so as you teach someone to play the flute that way, use a simple metaphor, something they're familiar with, and this will certainly help you to show others how to play the flute. And for those of you who are new to Native American flute playing, this is as simple as it gets. I mean, this is a wind instrument. You blow through it. Vibrations are coming off of the sound that is being made is caused by the vibrations. You cover a hole up. Air travels further, or rather the vibrations travel further through the air. Make sure I say this correct. And the further it travels, the lower the note, because the vibrations are breaking up within the air itself. So one last time. When you start to go up the scales, nothing to it. But anyway, just wanted to give you guys a simple little video for a few minutes, and definitely say thanks to my friend Pam for the wonderful t-shirts she gave us here while we've been working on some projects with her as well. So once again, this is Charlie Mato-Toyela signing out for Blue Bear Flutes and of course Blue Bear Arts as well as our Blue Bear Arts Facebook. Just check us out there and see where we're going, where we've been, and how we liked it. So you guys take care, and I look forward to seeing you soon. You know, like those TV commercials where they use the Corona bottle?
Coke bottle.
Oh yeah, the Coke bottle. You know, like those TV commercials where they use the Corona bottle?
Coke bottle.
You would hear the ocean and the wind, and it was really beautiful, and they would be blowing that sound. It sounded like a tugboat, like, and they would use those Corona bottles?
Coke bottle.
We passed in Mexico, they use those Corona signs to make all those, they build buildings and everything out of those Corona. I just can't stop thinking about it.